Oh, there we go, fixed it. I almost started with the wrong settings. There is something, isn't it? There's always something where there's a late start for technical difficulties or God knows what. But yeah, we are here. We're back at Cardiff City World live. It is me again. Who would have thought? Evan James, I'm your host. I got that all messed up because obviously that's just me. Today, or this evening, should I say, we're going to go through a bit of an interesting topic that I came up with. And I think it was a couple of podcasts ago where I commented on like the 1927 club slash podcast. Don't upset anyone. But I commented saying like it'd be interesting to see how this team currently right now would fare in the championship and how basically how well they do. And I sort of based it off the Wickham game, the 1-1 draw, because I think, right, I don't know. I think certain games, right, we have obviously better than others, but I think we'll do pretty good in the championship. You know, like with the more difficult level, let's say. But I think Nathan Trott, first of all, he becomes an even better keeper because he's faced against better strikers, so he's got more to do. First of all, I do think we will suffer a bit more in terms of well, let's just say we played against Chelsea, lost 3-1. It was a pretty respectful scoreline, but we beat Wrexham as well. I do feel like we would struggle if we were to go with the current lack of depth that we have. I know it's a very tight knit squad, but yeah, it's I don't know. I think it would be all right, but we'll dive deeper into it in just a minute. I do want to sort of say hi to everyone, say good evening. I also want to mention as well that the first Rumor Mill podcast episode of this window is out earlier for members now. That's on the Patreon, including a tiny bit of exclusive news, which I'm not going to reveal here. I don't actually know if I know what it is. If it's what it is, I think it is. Then I know, but yeah. But let's say evening to all the lovely chaps and chaplets. Evening to Alex. 11th championship has dropped since last season, and we'll get a bit more into that just a second. Cardiff City fan, evening, mate. So sorry I can't make the stream tonight. Have a good night. Oh God, you're in hospital. Hope everything's all right with you. Okay. Coach John, evening, mate. What's up, buddy? It might be a pretty chill stream tonight, to be fair. And I've had a nice, big, productive day. Been outside in the freezing cold. It's not getting any warmer. It's only getting colder into minus digits now. So yeah, it's kind of drained me for today. But yeah, Cardiff City in the championship. Get your comments in. Where do you think we'll finish? What position do you reckon? Will we make the playoffs? Get promoted back to back? And I'm talking now, like, if we were to put this current team, I know I heard Jonathan. Yeah, if we put this current team playing the way it currently is right now, where do you think we would be? Do you think we would, be in a relegation spot, in a playoff mid-table, automatic promotion? I don't know. There's tons of different ways you can look at it. You could see it in that we don't have enough depth yet, and I feel like even though there's just as many games in the championship, it's a lot more demanding fitness-wise. I don't know. I think we would struggle a little bit if I'm going to be honest. And this is not because I think we really excel in some ways, but our real weaknesses will be exposed at the back. I think we have got a really good team all round, and there's no sort of like position that worries me. More just worry for lack of depth. But I think we'll be exposed for our weaknesses of passing on the back a lot because some teams will have better pressing, albeit not much better than League One. I think we've been blessed in some ways in League One, which is that a lot of teams have allowed us to have the ball. And, whilst we actually benefit from people pressing us because we can do the counter press, I genuinely think we will struggle a lot more because we want to be used to it. But at the same time, I think, it would be a rough start and then we'll pick steam up as we go on the season. And no doubt BBM would do a great job. I'm just like more on the not pessimistic side, but more on the realistic side of like, if we're going up now on this current ability, I feel like we'll have a little bit of a shock. And to be fair, we have played two decent teams, Wrexham and Chelsea, in the cup. So we have got the ability. I think it's just the fact that with those two games, we knew they were one-off games, and we were all up for it. And I'm sure they were saving themselves. The game before when we played, I think it was Doncaster Rovers. I think Callum Robinson was probably he's still trying hard, but like probably saved himself a bit more for the Wrexham game or the Chelsea game. Can't remember, but no, Chelsea game it was. Yeah. So I think more mentally would struggle a little bit, but we have got really, really young players at the same time. So that's why I'm kind of sort of being realistic on that front, is that we have got such a young squad, probably the youngest in League One and possibly the youngest in League Two and the Championship. Maybe we might have the youngest squads as is. Maybe League Two have some younger teams. I'm not sure, but you think of it, we haven't got a lot of experienced players, let's say. We're still storming League One at the moment. I mean, could you really ask for a much better start? I mean, you can only really say that other teams lose their games. So that's the only improvement we could really make. Obviously, there's a few losses like Lincoln and Bradford. But if I'm being honest, right, we lose against teams that you think we should be losing to, like the teams at the top, in the top four. Who did we lose to that? We lost to Peterborough in the Cup. But I'm trying to think, if anyone can think in the comments now, I'll get your comment up. Have we lost to anyone this season that we should have beaten by miles? Or is there any sort of lower end or mid-table team that we lost to that we should have beaten? Because I can't think of anything. And Leyton Orient we beat 4-3. I'm trying to draw my memory, but we beat Exeter, we smashed Plymouth, Northampton we won just about. Burton, yeah, oh yeah, here we go, yeah. I literally looked at the table and 3 people straight away. Ian says Burton, yeah, Cardiff City fan, Burton. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, by the way, don't feel like you have to say Cardiff City if you want to just listen or whatever. I hope you are doing all right, and if you're not very well, I hope you get well soon. If you're injured or obviously don't know the situation, but I'm just letting you know that we're always here to have a chat if you need. So let's go dive into the comments, what we got so far. But let's have a look here. Evening, Ian. The news was Haaland had handed in the transfer request. He wants to move to the capital. Yeah, sure. To be honest, right, you could put Haaland up front and you still probably struggle to get service sometimes. I mean, we have got a lot better. I say this, if you put Haaland up front for us last season, we still would have got relegated, not because of him, but because the players around were not good enough to provide the service. And I feel like only now we're actually getting the service of the strikers. And no wonder Yusuf Salek is top goal scorer in the league right now, or joint top scorer with, I think, Kayla Dunn or something. Let me have a look at that as well, because I'm going to be checking the stats quite a bit this podcast. Let's have a look. How do I check this? Stats. So the top scorer right now is Yusuf Salek. Oh, hang on. That's according to our club. I don't know how to see. Oh, League One, there we are, yeah. Stats. Okay, never mind. Tolai has taken the lead. And then Dominic Ballard, Davis, Kayla Dunn, and Yusuf Salek all on 11 goals. I think we're the top in goals/assists though. Yeah, it's mad. Callum Robinson's dropped out of the top 10 as he was at the start of the season. Oh my god, he really has dropped off. Chris Willock on 4 goals, mind. He's doing all right for himself. Let's have a look. It'll be interesting to see the likes of Callum Chambers and Chris Willock if, I say when, but let's just say when we go back to the Championship. It's mad to say that, really, when we go back to the Championship, yeah. If Chris Willock and Callum Chambers will step up then because they found their feet in League One, or if they'll go back to the version, they'll revert back to the versions of their previous selves. I hope not, but players don't get any younger, do they? And I think that I don't really know what it was, why League One was the place to find momentum. I guess the drop in quality, yes, but I'm not sure about Chris Willock, but I know that Callum Chambers and who else has played at Premier League level? Nathan Trott has. Who else has? Gabriel Osho? No, he was at Championship level, I think. But yeah, so we've had many players who've had experience at a high level. They've played Chelsea now, so let's have a look. Who else got Coach John says, "Do you play eFootball?" I used to play PES like 2022 or whatever, the good old days when it was actually a football game. But now I tried eFootball, I just couldn't get on with it. No licenses for teams. For most of you, you won't know and understand what this is if you're slightly older generation. But it's a football game, video games. But sometimes I play FIFA or FC 26, and all I do is play career mode, manager career modes, because I wanna prove that I'm a good manager, and I can never stick to one career mode save. Jonathan said earlier as well that headed back to Man United is Solskjaer. I never know how to say his name. Solskjaer. Yeah, that would be really weird because imagine sacking a manager and then bringing him back. You know what I mean? Like that's just like Warnock left on his own terms, and people will ask him for him back. You speak way too fast. Yeah, I do speak pretty fast. Just me, that is. But do apologize. Catch up. You understand faster. Ian says we finished 14th for the championship. That's interesting. Which is respectable at the same time. We beat Burnley, that went up quite easily, and we dominated Wrexham. I think we'd be fine. Did we beat Burnley? I don't remember us beating Burnley. Did we? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that was when we were relegated already. Or I can't remember the season now. Oh no, I don't even know. I can't remember us beating Burnley, but yeah, I think it's whatever. Maybe it was in the cup. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Yeah, I completely forgot that we played them in the cup. To be honest, we'd have less games in the championship. No Pizza Cup. Yeah, third round FA Cup entry. Yeah, no Papa John's trophy. That's changed now, isn't it? Is that what the Virtue Trophy Cup is now, or is that something different? I don't even know. I don't catch up with all League One cups really. But that'll be better. Less cups, cup games, but equally as challenging, really. Never mind just being told and go home, so I'm here now. Oh, that's amazing. I hope everything's all right. Like I said, evening. Wow, that was quick. Jesus Christ, you were home in a minute. We do even in halftime margins. By the way, we do, however, currently have the best win rate in the entire EFL. Oh, that's really interesting to point out. So yeah. If we were to chuck us straight into championship now, the momentum, will it carry through? That's mad, that is, though, because we still lost 1 in our last 5 games, but there we are. We battered Burton on stats, but couldn't find the net, and that's the worry, isn't it? It's like we can dominate on possession all we like, and I mean, there's only 1 goal in the Wigan thing, and to be fair, I don't think there was much else you can get from that game because they put 10 men at the back for the entire of the game. I don't know what Ryan Lowe's play was. I don't know what his aim of the match was, but even after they conceded, they still played 10 at the back. Even when they got 80 minutes, they still played 10 at the back. They had 1 shot on target, I think, or 1 shot at goal, and it was on target. And Trott made a great save. And again, I always like to say he's always switched on, even if he only has to make 1 save, he makes that 1 save. And he's quick reactions as well. Ian says, I went to that game, and that was the only reason I was irritated with the Wigan game. 1 screamer, and we dropped 2 points. Yeah, well, I need to reread that. Yeah, I see what you mean, though. Like, it was... well. Jonathan says, if we played Turner instead of Horvath, we might have had a chance last season. Yeah, but I think the damage was done elsewhere, though. I know we lost like 5-0 to Burnley and whatever, but I think we probably would have lost regardless, gone down regardless. I don't know, but I do rate Matthew Turner. And he's a very good keeper. It's just a shame that we got someone even better. Well, what a shame, right? But I think he's a great backup to have, and I'm sure that he wants to be first team keeper. But I'm also sure that he's equally as happy, well, not equally, but more or less happy to be the second keeper option. And he's had occasional games that he played. Was it the Doncaster game or Wickham? Maybe the Wickham game, yeah. So he's so he's He's a really good backup option. It's nice to know it. You're not relying on your first team keeper to be fit all the time. Should be Port Vale by their position table. I mean, yeah, that was a real big miss. I mean, but let's be honest. I think everyone was finding their feet then, and we were very, very raw and new. We go up and raid Leighton Orient. Oh yeah. We get Connolly and Ballard. Honestly, I think Ballard's a real good shout. I would honestly look at getting him straight away. However, is he going to be playing every week? I don't think he will be. I don't think he wants to be on the bench, even though he's 20 years old. Let's have a look. Yeah. Halftime audience says, for the sake of sounding like I have a stammer, www wins in a row. That's great, that though, isn't it? Is that just at home though? Because yeah, it's 8 wins in a row at home, I think, or 9. It's 8, yeah. Osho was the Prem apparently, Ian says. Oh, okay. Osho has, yeah, there we are. So they then went League One, yeah, where they got. Oh, right, okay. League Earn, as in, I thought you meant like League One, yeah. But no, so Osho then is also a player who's got Premier League experience, albeit not like a great deal, but I don't know. But I think he is, with Osho, I think he's frustrated at times, and he puts it there to see a little bit like Horvath at times. But apart from those couple of mistakes he made, I thought he did pretty well. It's just those 2 mistakes could have been costly for Wickham, I think it was, yeah. And I saw that he had some cramp at the end or something, which I'm not surprised. But I think he just needs time. I think he just needs more games in his belt as soon as possible. Just get him playing. Because when we get back up to Championship, we're not going to be able to take chances with players that are not like up to speed, really. And, coming to League One is no joke because there are still teams that can do damage, a lot more physical, sometimes faster pace for some teams. But he's got to be able to deal with this first before he can play Championship with us, especially when we signed him for like, 3-4 mil or something like that. I think it was like 3 mil, maybe with options of like extras if we get to go up. I do think he's a very good signing. How we signed him, I do not know, because I know there's a player there. I wasted so much money on Ultimate Team FIFA, yeah. I know the feeling. I say I know the feeling, actually I don't, because I didn't waste loads of money on that game. I had once I spent money on that, and I had to convince my parents so much to get me FIFA points. And yeah, don't think it was worth it in the end, because yeah, kids don't gamble if you're watching. It was technically gambling, I suppose. We beat Burnley in the Carabao Cup. Yeah, thanks for reminding John. Yeah, I was having a stupid moment. Burnley's second team there, Championship level. Even Martin Lloyd says need more quality, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we need, quite a bit more quality. But I think really, you look at the positions that we need to add to. I look at the team we have now. I'm thinking I wouldn't really add any more or many more first team players. You got Chris Willock now. He's got 4 assists, 4 goals. That's a pretty good record for League One. Don't get me wrong. We've played 24 games we played now, 4 goals and 4 assists. It's not amazing, but we've been pretty spread out in terms of goals and assists, apart from Yusuf Salek, who scored the most. But almost everyone, yeah, literally look right. I look at our last starting 11. Everybody scored at least 1 goal who started, which is, it's great to see. And on average, every other person has picked up at least 1 assist. So, it's quite spread out. And I should have expected to be, I think we also thought Yusuf Salek would be on 20 goals by now. But hey, he's still doing really well, 11 goals and 4 assists. And it's not like Callum Robinson's doing nothing either, because he's really helping out. But if I'm being honest, I thought he would be doing a lot more at League One level. I mean, first of all, I didn't think we'd still have him at League One level. I really didn't think so. But you've got to look at him and think now, I've been very lenient with Robinson purely because I know the talent he's got and I really want him to stay. I like his his attitude is quite raw sometimes. When he's really happy, we're really happy. But if he's not, he might put a stop. Who knows? But I'm not saying he will. But it shows he really cares about the club, which is something we didn't see for the majority of last season. and it makes me wonder why he wasn't being played a lot. And I just look at the player there. I'm thinking like there's a player you can put more or less anywhere in the pitch, maybe not defense, but anywhere else, and you know he's going to be that lively one. I think put him in the middle is probably one of the best you can do, like as attacking midfielder. And I just don't know whether it's because of how we're playing, whether it's because of we're playing wing play a lot and we're doing wing rotation, that it's not suiting him as much. Or I don't know, but we seem to avoid the middle so much. We seem to go wide all the time, and it really hurts us. I know that teams defend with like 5 at the back, so they're really compact and everything, and they can, have a much more solid line. And I get it that we're trying to drag players out of position. But at the same time, you think like he could probably do a bit more, especially at this level, especially that he's had Premier League experience. Another one. I don't know. Again, you can't say that they're the exact same players they were like seasons ago. But come on, you're thinking like at this point, with one of the highest earners as well, you probably think you got to make a name for yourself more. And again, it's not all down to him. I think it's down to how we play. I think as well, he just doesn't get the ball a lot. But Ruben Colwell was dictating the play, and he's a lot slower than Callum Robinson. Yeah, that's the virtue. Okay, yeah. So the Papa John's trophy is that. Yeah, the Burnley team we beat was effectively their team that got them up. They bought a new team after promotion. Okay, well there we are. So I'm not sure if they're gonna stay up though, because let's have a look how the Premier League's doing. Because I actually don't follow the Premier League pretty much at all. All I know is Arsenal are top by a fair bit. Arsenal are clear by 6 points, and then Man City. Burnley, they're not doing too good. But mind you, there's a lot of teams at the moment, 2021 games, they're not doing that well. I mean, Wolves are just almost confirmed going down with 6 points. And then Nottingham Forest just outside the relegation zone with 18 points. Got West Ham on 17, Burnley on 12. We might see West Ham next season if we go up. That's insane. Hello, evening mate. How's it going? I haven't seen you before, unless I think it's because of the name tag as well. Jonathan says Ryan Lowe was trying to protect goal difference. The setup was damage limitation. I mean, that's probably the only justifiable explanation you could probably give. I don't think you ever come into the game thinking, we can win this game. I think the clear plan was defend with 10 in the back and then attack with as few players as possible, try and nick a goal somehow, set piece, whatever. And then sneak a point, and it clearly didn't work. Graham says, ironically, we lost the 2 teams behind us. If only we had won them. Yeah, but if you think you're right, the 2 teams behind us are second and third, and there's a reason they're second and third. If we were losing the teams at the bottom, you'd be thinking, how come we're losing against Port Vale and Doncaster Rovers? And we almost did lose against Doncaster Rovers and Port Vale. But we didn't, we got a draw in one and then a win in the other. But I get what your point is at the same time. It's like it is ironic, isn't it? Because they are just sitting right behind us. But we still have a game in hand over Lincoln. So do Bradford, and Lincoln are 3 points behind us. So they won't win away, but essentially they could be 2 wins away if we win our next game. Cardiff City fan says, against Wigan, they defended Willock well. Willock bullied him, but they defended well when he tried getting a shot off. Yeah, I think so. I think they showed him the outside a lot, but I think he still had the better of him. But I think obviously pace is a different thing. I always say with Willock, pace is a thing for Wigan. He's a bit faster now, but I still don't think he has that explosiveness, not so much just the pace, but the acceleration. Like, there's like your sprint speed, which you can be really fast, but if you take a while to get to that really fast sprint speed, then obviously you don't have to have a fast reaction to judge them. But he hasn't really got that quick explosive step, has he? As someone like Kian Ashford or Isaac Davis has. Conley for Orient is injured, yeah, unfortunately, but I think he can probably back to Brighton, is it? Let's have a look at this comment. Next year, when he's back and looking for a loan, we could go in for Cozy Deburi, or however you say it. Can't spell it, yeah. Nor can I pronounce it. But he dominated us versus us when we played Bolton. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that Arsenal youngster. I think we might go in. I just got a feeling. I think for January we might go in for a Arsenal only, like a young Arsenal only. I wouldn't be against that at all. And it would definitely be a youngster. It'd be like 20-year-old something. I did see one was linked to that left back. I can't remember his name. Young left back who plays for Arsenal. Let's have a look. See if I can find this. It's not Miles Lewis Skelly, by the way. Transfer marked. Let's have a look. See if you can find him here. The one area down. No. I can't see it. It's just meshed all the different years together, so I can't find it. But if I find out, 'cause I think it was might be CCFC Inside. I think it was who did a transfer targets thing on his Instagram page. So that would be interesting. But I saw there was a left back from Arsenal mentioned there. Team's going to be Ian Alex Robertson, great form. Yeah, he has been getting a lot better. He started off pretty quiet when he came back, but now he's really grown into it. And I think he's going to be an essential part of the championship when we go back. I think he's one of those that is only going to get better the higher level he plays, because he's going to be around players of higher level then. I'm not saying not in our club, but once we get to the championship, I say once we will, it's going to be a different ball game. But I think equally, sorry for the noise, equally, I think we're going to be a much, much, much better team, because we would have had almost a year with Brian. Well, we would have had a year with Brian Murphy by then. You know, he's had almost no time to do what he wants to do with the team, and I think in the championship right now, for me, if I was to give my position predictions or where we'd end the championship, and you could never prove this because obviously you can't just jump leagues all of a sudden. I think we finish 12th, maybe 13th, around that. Like Ian said, I think Ian said earlier, around 14th. He said, I would say around 12th, purely because I don't think we would be able to stop the goals flying in from the counter attack. I still think we really struggle with the counter sometimes. Yes, you win the ball back loads, but what I'm saying is that in the championship, it's an absolute joke of the loans you can get. Like, you're talking about Premier League players who aren't quite ready yet, but you don't want to sell them to a championship club, so they go on loan to the likes of Stoke now, I guess, Sorba Thomas, the likes of Sheffield United. Who else? I can't remember who else is in the championship right now. Your Wrexhams and all that. I mean, I saw the quality that Wrexham had. It's just that it just completely wasn't there when they played us, albeit it was a mix of their rotation and first team players. But as soon as they brought Kiefer Moore on, Christ alive. Let's have a look. Who else is halftime oranges? I read today Barnsley tickets are half price if you're not got one or want to bring family or mates along, and the pack the CCS outs. Yeah, Pat, that would be good. That's a really good. Yeah, if it's home especially, yeah. I'll have to see when that game is, so I might go to that one. But it's just absolutely freezing at the moment, and games are getting called off as well. So it'd be a lastminute.com thing for me as well, I think. Whole family got season tickets. Jonathan says Salek still top on goal contributions. I think 11 goals, 4 assists would have had more assists if more players could finish. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he would have had more goals if people could pass in the ball properly. And yes, we have done it loads of times. I just think there's still another level he can go to. And championship defender's going to be a bit smarter as well. Maybe not that, was it Story? Or was it Kitchen for Coventry when he scored those 2 own goals? A beautiful piece of play, by the way. We should have signed him. Put him up front, though. Turnbull alone missed 2 sitters from Salek, knockdowns off the top of my head. I think he missed 1. But who was the other guy? Oh, Robinson missed a sit as well, mine. So, can't say too much about that. What players would you sell in the summer? Ooh, okay, now we get into the juicy stuff. For me, probably Turnbull, maybe Robinson, just never seems to play. I need to have a look at our squad. I'm sorry, I'm doing one of those because oh Christ, because I'll forget players then. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy with things the way they are now, but I know that probably there's going to be some players who are thinking, I could probably play somewhere else right now. So the first team. Well, for me, first of all, if we do go up, I'm activating that clause for Nathan Trott instantly to sign him permanently. Secondly, I'm getting rid of Jack Anick. I'm from what I heard, personal reasons and all that. I wish him the very best, but I think he's been with us for quite a few seasons now. But unfortunately, I don't think in terms of goalkeeping ability wise, in shot stopping, he's all right. I just think in terms of distribution and maybe he's looking to go somewhere closer to home. I think up Newcastle way. I would probably get rid of Jack Anick. The defenders, so before the season started, I would have said Perry NG, but now I think he's one of the first team starters. I think he's found his form again. Let's say, just to make it more exciting, theoretically, one of our players got bought by a bigger club. Who would I rather let go? Dylan Lawler, Capaccio, Bagan, Fish. As much as he is probably our best player at the club right now, or best youngster, I would sell Dylan Lawler, mainly because you can get a good chunk of money from him, as much as I want him to stay, by the way, but I'm just making this situation like hypothetically entertaining for you guys. But Dylan Lawler, because we would get upwards of at least 15 mil. Like if McGuinness went for a total valuation of like 10 mil, I know there was add-ons and clauses getting promoted, so he probably went for about 5-6 mil in the end. But like you think, right, Dylan Lawler's already been eyed up by so many big, elite clubs, and he's already played international football. So you could still, you can still watch him play for Wales as well, and know that he, came from Cardiff and was born and raised there, or thereabouts, I think. But I look at Capaccio, Fish, and Bacon. I wouldn't want to get rid of all those. Bacon I wouldn't get rid of because I think his value probably wouldn't be as high because he's a little bit older than the rest of them. He's still fairly young. I think he's like 24, 25. But I think his market value would have kind of like gone under the radar a bit. Whereas like the likes of Capaccio and Fish, I mean, Capaccio also played international level. Fish was a former Man United player, albeit didn't play that much. So I feel like having him as well. He's such an underrated, no-nonsense defender. Osho, I would keep. Obviously, I think he's just there to find his form. Callum Chambers, I'm torn on because in my awards thing, I gave him the most improved player. I genuinely think that he has been the most improved. I would probably say I'm very torn now between him and Chris Willock, who is the most improved. Because I think now it's really hard because Callum Chambers got an amazing strike, but I think the intelligence of Chris Willock is something that if he lacked that, he'd be a terrible player. But because he has that, he's really skillful and he knows with the nutmeg players and he's got such a good drop of the shoulder. He knows all those moves and it makes up for his lack of pace. I think about Ruben Cole as well. It's just the mentality and the intelligence of those players. I would probably keep Chambers for another season if I say next season, But I would not sell NG, Bacon, Fish, Capaccio at all. I would keep Dylan Lawler as close to me as possible for as long as possible. And eventually, he's probably going to go elsewhere in the next few seasons. Again, unless you have back-to-back promotions, but look, it's we're living on a dream, but aren't we? Midfielders, who would I sell? Oh man, I don't know. See, because I would have said Turnbull if you asked me in the first 15 games of the season, but now he looks a breath of fresh air. If I had to sell anyone, I don't know. I couldn't. Unless I have to sell someone, it's going to be Turnbull, right? So I look at the others, and you can't sell any of those. And let's assume that we get Amari Kellerman again on loan or permanent. I'm not selling him. But if you sell Turnbull, you then make way for someone else to come fill in the number 6 role. So as like a backup for Ryan Wintle or even a replacement. But if I'm being honest, You can't replace Ryan Wintle right now. He's one of the nailed starters. And again, you sort of look at the whole squad and think there's not many players you can really replace as like first team starters when you sign them. You're looking now at like just adding depth of adding backup options. And that's all I can really kind of see happening in January. I genuinely think it's going to be possibly one, maybe two at most signings. You look at the lack of activity we made in the summer, 3 transfers, one of them being permanent. I think you're looking at either 2 loans or 1 permanent and 1 loan. I do not think we're gonna go for many. We're gonna need depth because we put out 3 players on loan. I think Mafiko, Nyakua, and you've got Louis Giles and Will Spears. There's 4 people who are tipped to go on loan. 2 have been confirmed so far. And yeah, I think that if them 4 go out, it's not so much of a risk because we've already, played all our cup games and that's done now. So in a way, it's kind of good they're going on loan the second half of the season as opposed to the first. Hopefully they get plenty of men's football, plenty of minutes. And then you don't even need to sign a left back, really. That's the main thing is we just need a left back. I mean, we've got Oli Tanner come back as a winger now. You don't really want to upset the dynamic right now until the summer. Because in the summer, naturally, some people are going to go. I do think we lose Robinson this season, the end of the season. I would keep him till the end of the season. But yeah, I wouldn't rush to sell him because I think he's good quality. I just think that I feel like you've got to turn a new page at some point. I hate saying that because I really love Robinson. He's one of my favourite players. And he's so creative. He's so much better than what people give him props for. It's just that he hasn't fully shown it yet just because of the way we play, really. And, it's frustrating because he's such a prolific winger, but he's also a really good finisher up front as well. And he can drop into the midfield and create the opportunities for other people. He's so versatile, but at the same time, we still haven't been able to get the best out of him. So, yeah, going to the forwards and the attackers, I would probably, let's go off a few feathers. I would probably sell Willock. If I had to sell one of them, it's going to be Chris Willock because coming towards the latter end of his career, and until recently, I know he's been great recently, but until recently, he's been very, very poor, and no manager's been able to get a tune out of him until BBM's come along. And I'm sure that Chris Willock is very happy under BBM. I'm sure the relationship is great. I think Chris Willock goes out of all of them, but that's basically the long-winded answer to your question, Cardiff City fan. Graham says, I'd like to see more from Salek in the box to get the ball, not wait for the perfect cross. Yeah, but I guess it goes both ways, doesn't it? He's got to anticipate more where the cross is going to come. But at the same time, we could do is chuck in a couple more bodies in the box. We have been doing that more recently. I found that we have been a bit more aggressive. I just think that if we're going to do that, we've got to make sure we have some defensive cover. The number 6 stays back at all times when that happens. To be fair, that's also true. It's coming from moving into space. I think at championship level, you can't just stay in the box because you're not going to get the ball all the time because people will probably man mark you. But he's also been very unfortunate to not come away with anything in terms of the calls, being ripped apart, his shirt ripped apart, honestly. West Ham are 1-up versus Forest, all right. I hope West Ham stay up because my nan is a West Ham fan. She's from around there, see. Horvath and Anik. Oh, I forgot about Horvath. I thought we had him. They need to offload ASAP. Then there's Atete. I forgot about him as well. Atete is going for me as well. Yeah, Simic, he's going. Darland again. I forget we have all these players out on loan. Yeah, I think Darland. It'd be interesting to see preseason what he does, but we've got our 4 centre backs now. We don't need any more. Maybe Turnbull, Robinson. Yeah, that's fair enough. Loads of empty seats at West Ham. Oh, yeah, loads of empty seats at our stadium as well, to be fair. Cozy Dewberry seems to be a flash in the pan, though. Him and Bolton have tailed off. They have to be fair. Bolton aren't really as thingy hot as people said they were before. Arsenal under-21s player did well when he played against us, but against our under-21s. Yeah, but I mean, he's playing against likewise competition. So, you know, I was really getting on if you have an idea. I don't really know. I hope he's all right and his back's not still hurting from falling on the ice, but I don't really stay in frequent contact apart from our little staff group chat we have. But you'll be on with me tomorrow night, so you'll have some nice entertainment there for you. We're gonna go through what we're doing tomorrow. Oh, should I spoil it? I feel like I'm gonna spoil a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna talk about basically what if this doesn't happen? What if we get a bit derailed and we possibly don't go up? What happens then? I chose specifically, said to Sai, I'll do that one tomorrow with Reese because it'll give him a good conversation. It gives him good points to talk about. And in replacement and non existence of Reese rants right now, I think it'd be good to have that back. But I hope he is doing well. Kitchen at Cov, that was the one who scored. Yeah, gave it all kitchen sink included and scored 2 goals for us. Duffy at Blackburn. Hey, he's at Blackburn? Shane Duffy? Is it Shane Duffy? Or I can't remember what his name is now. We could have done with him last season, to be fair. He was a decent player. No key players are for sale. Every player likely has their own price, but club not looking to sell, obviously, is ridiculous. If ridiculous bids came in, they got to be accepted. Yeah, I think so. What price? You know, not just Jonathan, but everyone in the comments. Ooh, to apologise. At what price would you sell Dylan Lawler at? Give me a bids down below, and I'll accept the best one. Didn't think I'd share that today. Would never get rid of Lawler. No, I wouldn't either. But what I'm saying is, realistically speaking, we're probably going to at some point, unless we were to get back-to-back promotions, and then also stay up in the Premier League. Is a bit of an ask, isn't it? And even then, by then, so much time has passed. He's going to want to be, you know, if his dream is to play for Liverpool, Man United, or whatever. I mean, you know, we're not. Man United is not a big club per se, but Sai's going to kill me. Well, they just had their manager, didn't they? So Solskjaer at the wheel. But no, I think if his dream is to play at the very top level, he will leave Cardiff before Cardiff gets to top level. That's how I see it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he stays with us for the rest of the time. I hope he becomes future captain of Cardiff City FC. But I'm a realist, okay? Very much a realist. I think of things realistically and what could happen. In some ways, you could call that pessimistic. That's just me, I guess. Evening, guys. Yeah, it'd be great, but would Tan invest it back into the team? Doubtful. Oh, I don't know. Getting promotion, you win a decent chunk of money to the championship. But yeah, I understand your point at the same time. I don't know if I should say. When's Tan gonna sell up? You know, when are his days numbered? Because he's in his mid 70s, is he? And I know that he's probably allegedly. I gotta say all this allegedly. He's probably looking at, okay, how can I find an escape plan? Because he's not gonna want to go down back to League One again if he gets promoted. So, you know, my conspiracy theory, because I have to say that, is that again, this is backed with no evidence or no kind of thing or whatsoever. Allegedly, that I got a feeling he'd probably sell after the season because the way I look at it, right, gets back in the championship, amazing. Going down to League One was probably did an absolute number on his bank account for Cardiff. And he doesn't want to experience that again, no matter how unlikely it is that we go back down to League One anytime soon. You know, at some point he's going to sell, right? And I think if he's just got back up and let's say the Salah case is settled and he gets his money that he, you know, to be fair, he deserves, because I think we were absolutely ripped off by that. And again, I don't want to get too deep into that because at the end of the day, it's a person that's 2 people's lives that costed there. But I'm assuming by then the court case will probably be settled, I'd hopefully think. And he would get what he needed from that. And he would probably sell. And again, this is not backed by any kind of evidence or data. That's just my personal conspiracy theory. I won't say much more on it, but I think that's what we're looking at least from my view, I guess. Capaccio has potential. NG has reached it. Yeah, I mean, but it's great to have both sort of playing off each other, is it not? Like, I think NG right now is sort of the latter years of his prime. Um, I think he was linked to a few Bundesliga clubs before a couple of seasons ago, but he stayed. Uh, had a horrible season at last season, but let's be honest, who had a good season really? Calmo Dowda, Andy Rinomota, not many players were there. You know, Keane Ashford. Oh. If a big club came in for a youngster, it would be hard to say no. It's a short career, and they would become an instant millionaire. Yeah, but also lifestyle inflation. You know, you earn more, you spend more. I just think that I'm the same with you, Graham. I think if a big bid comes in, the agents also got to look at it and say, look, this might be the best option for you if you want to play. This is your chance now, because at some point that offer is going to be taken off the table, and you're going to be 27, 28 years old, and you coming towards the end of your prime years. You're probably not going to get many other chances to step up. Who knows? I mean, I think NG's had his time when he could have stepped up to possibly the Bundesliga, but maybe he didn't want to play there. I know he had a hip injury and possibly other things going on. I know he's great friends with Ryan Wintle, so maybe he had a bit homesick sort of feeling last season, not having his buddy there. But I don't know. Sell Capaccio because we got Spears waiting. Oh, well, could do a job. I don't know if you could replace him, though. So Ruben Colwell, oh god, I wouldn't sell him. Christ, no. I mean, if we have to, I guess, but I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And I saw he did like some kind of podcast with Eli King the other day on his YouTube channel. Yeah, it's in the wrong way. It is a plus for us. Sell Dunlop for 25 mil. Yeah, I'd probably take that, to be fair. And how much is going to get reinvested back for us? Like I said earlier, 30 mil, Graham says, for Dylan Lawler. Christ alive. I mean, if they offer it, Christ, I'm taking that. God, the thing is, though, right? It's all well and good saying how much you want him for, but then it's like you want to ensure, first of all, he has a good career, but secondly, it's how you reinvest that money. A lot of club owners will just take that money and just keep it or put it into like stadium upgrades, which again is like kind of good, but like you forget where that money goes, and when it's just sitting in the bank, it's like it does depreciate over time. So you don't know the owner's intentions of what they're going to use the money for, or even if they want to use it, maybe they're going to use it to pay off some of the debt, which it's great for them and everything, but like for us, we don't really see the benefit of it. We just sold one of our best players, and someone who we don't really know a lot about but owns our club has taken the money for it. So it's like, I'm not trying to be spiteful or whatever, but I'm just saying it's not always the case, because I mean, look at the clubs in Man United right now, right? They're pretty much broke. They haven't got any more money to spend. They spent so much money. They're probably in a lot of debt. And even though they're like in the Premier League, I'm just saying, if they get the next appointment wrong, either for manager or next two appointments wrong, however often they get managers, they might really struggle next season. And not just them. I think there's other teams as well that, like West Ham, really struggling. And I wouldn't want, as much as it'd be, a good laugh for me to see Man United in Championship, I wouldn't want it to happen. In the same way that I would love Swansea to go to League One. Actually, no, to be fair, Swansea's different. I would like them just to be in League One. I know I'd miss the South Wales derby, but maybe once in a while we'll meet them in a cup, who knows? The Papa John's trophy. If we don't go up this season, we could lose a lot of our players and rebuild again, taking years to get out of this league. That's a big point, going. I think we don't have an option this season. We have to go back up. And whilst we don't have, this is the amazing thing, right? We've got all this pressure to go back up, and yet all the youngsters we're using right now, right, they're dealing so well with pressure, spitting everywhere, and we're getting these wins. And it's like, it's crazy how like composed we are, how well we're doing with the immense pressure to to go back up straight away. And yes, I know I did say well, Sai's gonna kill me, yeah, 'cause he's a United fan. Yeah, he is a United fan, I'm pretty sure, because he did some podcasts before on that. That was back in the good old days. It wasn't that long ago. But before CCFC was a world, uh, before CCFC World was a YouTube channel or a thing. You know, only the OGs will remember Man United and Cardiff pods. Who do we get in as manager if BBM goes? I have not a clue, to be fair. I swear though, no matter how many times we get a new manager, there'll always be a crowd of people going, "Oh, bring Warnock back in, bring Warnock back in." Nah, man. I would love to meet Neil Warnock. I think he's one of the world's best managers in terms of man management. And he even says that himself that what he was good at was man management. I was watching an interview with him today, about saying like he never really only Chelsea I think offered him a job once or something like that, and he never did take a big club opportunity because not many clubs did, because he was all about taking a smaller team and doing the best with the players you've got. And he was about building up the small teams because that's what he was best at. He was best at working with the small teams. I think in a similar, in a very different way, but I think this is kind of why Frank Lampard just works at Coventry, because he found his level and he's going to grow with them and he's found his team. I mean, I thought Coventry were going to get relegated this season, but obviously it looks the complete opposite. But he's really done a job at Coventry. I got to give it to him. And it's mad to think, right? Imagine if we had Steven Gerrard. Oh God, Steven Gerrard at League One or Frank Lampard at League One. You never know. We could have won the league by now. Like, you don't know how the manager's going to be. I mean, maybe not Stevie G as much as I do like him. I don't think he's a good manager. But then again, we said that with Frank Lampard. Look what happened. I wouldn't take either of those, to be fair, because I think it's just such a risk, isn't it? It's a bit like Jack Wilshere now at Luton. There's just a trend to get recently retired players as managers. You could say Aaron Ramsey, but he's still playing at the moment, supposedly. I just don't think it's a good move. It's not good. I mean, for a club like us, we can't take that risk. But you could say that in the exact same breath that BBM was a risk because he only managed Rochdale and they eventually got relegated. He did a good job there for a time. But ultimately he's just a Man City youth coach. I'm not saying he's just that. Obviously, he's more than that now. He's already a club legend, BBM for me. But he hasn't had an extensive track record of promotions in lower leagues, has he? He's not had that time yet. But to be fair to him, like I say, I always give credit to Tan and the board. Well, most of them. Let's just say there's some people that just try to mess up every negotiation by the sounds of it. But yeah, I give massive respects to the board in general of appointing BBM just because of how unlikely it was and how smart of an appointment it was. BBM now 9-1 for the Celtic manager. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. I'm not just saying that because I have attachment issues. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to build a team. And I said in the podcast, he ain't going to go through and build this whole team only just to sort of ditch and leave it. I never understand that. Right? This is the Matt Bloomfield effect. If you're doing a really good job, somewhere in a lower league team, right? You get him promoted, or and before you get him promoted, you get offered another job, like the Wolves job or Luton job, for example, and then you take that job, right? Before you even finish your season with your current team, and it's like, oh well, you could have got that current team promoted, but you chose the money in the short term, but then you go to the likes of Wolves, right? You're there for a couple of months, then you get sacked. And then what's that? You've got a couple paychecks that were pretty big, and now you're unemployed again. And then the previous club you were at are actually still doing really well because you left them in a really good position. So the new manager comes in, doesn't have to do that much as long as they're aligned with a similar philosophy. And this is the problem. I hate it when managers do it, but at least it's not Cardiff's part. Is that coaches will then just go to a bigger team, obviously more money and more publicity, but it's like they almost never succeed. because it's completely undoing all their hard work and getting to know the players and everything. And I don't know. I know BBM's smarter than that, just to leave us and ditch us like that. Yeah, so I did mean it's Eli King's channel. I'm not sure if I misspoke then. But oh yeah, you ask him what Colwell's YouTube channel is. Yeah, he did an interview with Eli King. So in reality, for Lawler, it'll be 8 million or so. I don't know. I think it'd be more than that. I think maybe it'd be sort of like option, like bonuses or something. Oh, what was it? The one that's Ian's comment. I'm not sure if I pulled it up. I didn't read it. He said 15 mil plus 20% sell on plus loan back for season. That loan back should be non-negotiable. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I would have a non-negotiable loan back and just a bunch of incentives of like a sell-on clause. Yeah, because if he doesn't stay at top level, then you'd like to see us get a bit more money for it. But you know, the clubs will probably agree to that. Then I don't know. Will they? I don't know. Last couple of minutes. Oh my god, we've been through an hour already. That's how much I can yap, honestly. Let's have a look. Damn, thank you guys. Thanks so much all for the comments. Again, I see loads of green names, but if you're not already a member, please do join. Got the QR code just be here. In the vertical version is here. And yeah, please do join, become a member. Exclusive. I mean, like I said already, the Rumor Mill first episode is already out, so please do give that a watch. I'm gonna probably watch it after this stream now. Off script and unfiltered with Ruben Colwell is the full name of the episode. Yeah, what was it, like a chat with Eli or something like that? Something like that. He called it. That was the channel, but you'll find it. If you know Manchester United, say Glazers out. Honestly, it could be like Thunder and Lightning, and Gary Neville will be like, "Oh, this is because of the Glazers." Honestly, I'm not sure what you're referring to here. I must have missed that. Sorry. How much money would you spend if we went up? Oh, it's a big question, Ethan. I don't know. I don't know how much money you get when you get promoted. Was it like 10, 20 mil if you get promoted to Championship? I think if you go to Prem, you get like 40 mil or something. It's crazy, yeah. But that was if you like get the title or something. But I don't know. I think I'd have to sort of answer that question in a full like podcast. I think that's like a whole project of a question. I think I would look at in terms of more the players I would sign. But on average, you know, if we're looking just go up to the Championship, on average, player signings are going to be between 500k to about 3 mil. You know, so that could vary a lot. And again, it's how much depth you need or how many players you need, and a bunch of other factors as well. Evening, Andrew. The way BBM likes to play makes me think he's not a mid-season manager. He probably needs a decent preseason, good quality, hands-on time with the players to his methods over. He's staying. Yeah, that's a very good, brilliantly summed up. He's not like an instant. Well, I guess he does have an instant impact, but you know, he needs people to buy in first, and it takes time. I mean, he's good with young players, so it would be the most ironic and hypocritical thing if he's a good youth coach and good at working young players, but then again he's just jumping between clubs. It's like, well, the whole point of youth players is that they're going to be inconsistent. It's going to take time for them to bed into the system, to buy into the philosophy, the culture, you know, team culture, and the good dressing room vibe. There's no way he can leave us, honestly. And if he does, then I just don't understand football, really. Not that I ever did. We sold McGuinness for 10 mil and Lawler 3 times a better player. Yeah, I definitely agree. McGuinness was really good, though. But again, like Lawler, again, they all have a mistake or two in them. Didn't do that good at Luton, but Chris Willock turned him inside out, let's just say that. It's not about the amount spent, it's using it correctly, which we haven't done often. Yeah, that's the exact thing as well. It's like, what you could say, like, how much can we spend, but it's such a vague question. It's like, you know, it's just like how many, I don't know. I was going to make up some analogy then, but just it won't come into me. Crazy to think if Wales qualify for the World Cup, Lola, Ruben, Joel, Capaccio, and Isaac could end up playing. Yeah, they could. I think Isaac has been a wild card that we haven't used at all for like Wales yet. I mean, once, and he scored. I think that Craig Bellamy does fancy a lot of the Cardiff players, not romantically, but I don't know. I think he's some things with Craig Bellamy don't make sense, but I just got a feeling, I just get a sneaky suspicion. Someone else said before me that I don't know. I just get this feeling that he doesn't want to pick too many Cardiff players because then he'll have swans on his back saying, "No, he's only picking the Cardiff players because he's from Cardiff and he played for Cardiff, whatever." It's like that's my only logical explanation as to why these Cardiff players haven't featured more yet, but they are starting to feature now. We had 3 the last time. And yeah, I think Ian Ashford gets called up next time. He's honestly recently been sensational. And if it weren't for what's his name, Chambers saying that'd be man of the match, Ian Ashford would have been straight next in line for man of the match against Wigan. He was all over them, and he's got a bit of a weird running style. He runs with like his shoulders so high up, and he looks so tense all the time. And he always looks like he's going to lose the ball, even though a lot of times he doesn't. But he's so like slippery, and he's got a very good acceleration, and I don't know. He's very creative as well. He did like a few like roulettes or whatever the other day, and he comes up with something new every time, doesn't he? I just think his last touch or his last ball, it lets him down a lot. We need to find a Welsh grandparent. Yeah, honestly, right. I mean, to be fair, he's been in the youth academy for us. I'm not making that up, am I? Yeah, he was with us at youth academy, so he's probably not far off. Hang on a sec now. So if he's like what, 24? Hang on, let me find out for you guys. Joel Bagan is go away adverts. I can't do maths. Wait, he's born 2001. He's 1 year older than me. I can't do maths. So he is about 24, 25. He could potentially have dual citizenship by now. You know, citizen at 8 years. I mean, he's probably going to play for Ireland. Let's be honest. He is Irish. But yeah, I know it's kind of like a little bit of a joke, but at the same time, you never know. He could actually play here. He's been with us for at least 8 years. I'm pretty sure. Got an assist, not a goal. Broadhead nicked it. I'm not sure who that was. I was referring to earlier. For the Wrexham one, but yeah. Oh well, claim it as yours anyway. That's what Callum Robinson does. Willigan Robinson were a man of the match, if not Chambers. Yeah, honestly, it could have gone to many players, couldn't it? I'll finish off, guys. Now, thanks so much for joining anyway. But the amount of nationalities in Robertson, he's got to have Welsh percentage somewhere too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, like you can get away with murder nowadays in terms of who plays for who. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to leave it there. Oh, this is gonna be a full trend now. It's a full meme. Wales struggle for a keeper. Trot's gonna have some Welsh grandparents somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Apologies again, just really tired tonight and just a long day. Go for Wales. Oh, okay, never mind. Something else there. Are. But thanks so much for joining. I will see you all soon.
Rascal Beats.
For your Caesar, Cardiff City, ride with me for your Caesar.